You could say something.
Hello.
Hi, guys. We're a little bit late for those of you who generally join us live. We're a couple minutes behind. But for those of you watching the replay, you won't mind. But we're here now, so we're going to get started with a little bit of centering and pranayama. And I'm going to throw some oils on. Have this mellow mix that's heavenly, and it's just cute. But anyway, so get your seat rooted and start to find your breath. Allow your eyes to close. And just start to notice where in the body your breath is moving smoothly, where your breath maybe is getting a little caught today. And then allow your breath to expand just a little deeper breath than normal. Tonight, we'll begin to move into some alternate nostril breathing. So if you've not done this before, you can look up and follow me. If you have done this before, you can get started. But you'll use your right thumb and your right ring finger. This is the only time I absolutely don't try to mirror you because it's just confusing and messes up my pranayama. So use your right, even though it looks like this is my left. And you'll place one finger, so thumb and ring finger on the outside of the nose. Your peace sign, your first and middle, can either be at the third eye or down in between. You'll plug the right nostril and inhale through the left. Plug the left and exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Plug the right and exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. So you'll just switch which side is plugged and which side you're exhaling out of as you're about to exhale. The next time you exhale through the left nostril, take a nice big inhale and exhale, releasing the hand as you do. And notice where your breath is now in the body. Notice if anything has changed. Maybe the shoulders have dropped. Or maybe they've picked up some tension if this is something that doesn't come as easily to you. If that's the case, let your shoulders release. And just know that that will get better with time. When you're ready, bring the palms together at the heart, gently bow the head. And we'll bring into mind 3 or 4 items from your gratitude list today. So this can be as extravagant as the person who raised you, or as small as a cup of tea. There's no right answer for your gratitude list. We'll take in a nice big inhale of gratitude. Exhale anything no longer serving you. Even if you don't know what that thing is, we'll do that 2 more times. Inhaling gratitude and exhaling anything that is no longer serving you. May it be fear or anxiety or something much larger. And after that last inhale and exhale of gratitude and that which no longer serves us, just let the palms come down to the knees and find length in the spine, keeping the chin parallel to the earth. And we'll take a few turns with the torso. So you're going to draw circles on the ceiling with your head, but keep the neck and spine in a line. So take about 2 or 3 turns one direction, 2 or 3 the other direction. The key here is to keep the sitting bones completely grounded. So if my sitting bones start to come off, then I'm changing this completely. But if you keep your sitting bones grounded, you might notice your low belly does a little bit more work to keep you centered and keep you stable. And then gently come back to the center. Take a nice big inhale out and up. And exhale, twist to your left, bringing that right hand to your knee, left hand behind you. Find length in the spine and width in the breath. The next time you inhale, take an even bigger inhale, and then exhale, sweep the arms all the way out and forward. Inhale right where you are, and exhale to the other side. Again, find length in the spine and width in the breath, keeping the chin parallel to the earth. Take a nice long inhale, and as you exhale, sweep the arms all the way back to the center. Take a long inhale, and as you exhale, just bring the prayer down to the heart. Switch the cross of the legs. Bring the hands back down to the knees, and we'll take about 5 seated cat-cows. Inhaling, lifting the heart. Exhaling, curling the spine. Inhaling, lifting the heart. Exhaling, curling the spine. So 3 or so more of those. And as you inhale back to the center, take a nice long exhale, bringing the chin to the chest. Inhale the left ear to the left shoulder. Exhale the chin to the chest. Inhale the right ear to the right shoulder. So keep this pattern, exhaling down, inhaling over. For about the next 30 seconds, we'll go. Nice and slow, following the breath. The next time you land with the right ear at the right shoulder, then exhale the chin to the chest, and inhale the head right back up to center. When you get here, go ahead and find your, I'm skipping all around. Sorry. We're gonna come into a staff pose. And if you are pregnant like me, you're gonna go to a wide-legged forward fold. Or you're gonna prepare for a wide-legged forward fold. So here we're gonna just rest the hands on the thighs, and we want the sitting bones down in the earth, the toes pointing towards the sky, and the heels resting on the earth. And we're gonna keep, so just like we did earlier, we kept the neck and spine in alignment. We wanna do the same here. So the shoulders are going to continue. You might have to continue to tell yourself, reach the shoulders down and back in order to help you from collapsing. So what we're gonna do is inhale here and exhale, fold forward, but I'm keeping my spine and my neck in line. My shoulders are not falling forward. And then I inhale back up. Exhale forward. Inhale back up. So 5 more times, just like this. You might notice that you couldn't go as far, and that's okay. So we're gonna take a nice big inhale and let everything collapse forward. So you're just gonna walk your hands forward and come into a nice big forward fold. Now, if your knees want to bend in a lot to help you here because you're forcing the fold, it's better to have the knees and the legs straight and come out of the fold a little bit and let your head and your shoulders release forward than it is to force it and take the integrity of the stretch out. And we're not pulling, we're not forcing anything. Even if you see my husband doing that, that's not our purpose tonight. So this is a gentle class. Just a couple more breaths here. The next time you inhale, just walk yourself back in. If you did this with your legs wide, just bring the hands underneath the knees, pull the knees in and back towards the center. And we'll meet back at staff pose, just like everybody else. And we'll just bounce the knees out a little bit. And then when you're ready, come into a tabletop. We're not going to be here for very long, so just take about 3 to 5 cat-cows. Inhale, lifting the heart, dropping the belly. Exhale, lifting the spine, dropping the heart. And your head doesn't have to do a lot of work here. See if you can let the breath be the leader. And then we're going to come to a seat and find your block. So hopefully, if you haven't already, you've checked out the comments and you've figured out what props you're probably going to need. If you haven't yet, go ahead and pause and take a look at the description of the video and get your props together. So we're going to get a block and come into a supported fish. So you might need more. You might need another block or maybe a blanket so that you have some support under the head as well. For supported fish, just as a reminder, you're going to want the block to be behind the heart. And you want the block to be long ways. Or I'm sorry, you want it to be across the back. So not tall, but across, for the purposes of this. So it'll be behind the heart, way at the top of the rib cage if it is on the rib cage. And you're going to lay back onto this. And then if you need support under your head, you'll bring something under the head. And for tonight, it's not often that I include this in class where you can be in butterfly without support for these classes, but tonight you can. So we'll just be taking about 7 to 10 breaths here. And if at some point you need to bring your knees up because it's starting to feel like tension rather than stretch, tension in the knees especially, then you just want to draw the knees up, put the feet on the mat, or lengthen the legs out on the mat. So you should be around 7 to 10 breaths. So maybe take 2 more breaths and roll to one side so you can roll off of this block and just remove the block from behind you and set it to the side. We'll need it in a minute. And roll back onto your back. At this point, get anything that is under your head out from under your head so that you're flat on the mat. This is very important. Bring the feet in line with the sitting bones, knees bent, palms on the mat. We're going to take time for just a few bridge flows. So we'll inhale, lift the hips and the arms. And exhale, bring the hips all the way down and the arms all the way down. And if you are underprepared like we are, just scoot yourself down so you have room. So about 5 total. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Keep the chin away from the chest. If your knees are starting to move out away from each other, just place a block in between the knees. So I'm going to guess you guys are ahead of us. Finish your 5th or 6th one. And then just land back down on the mat. Just for a few breaths, let the knees fall side to side, just a few times. You can let them fall all the way to the side. I can't because I'm pregnant, but you just want to let your knees fall all the way down. Get your hands out of the way. Don't let your hands be in the way of your knees. Beautiful. And then bring the knees back to center and grab that block that you kept next to you. Inhale the hips up and create a supported bridge. So the block will go underneath your sacrum, where your low back and your butt meet up. And again, chin away from the chest. And you'll lift the legs straight up. So your knees might not be able to straighten with the feet flexed like this. You might be something more of an angle like this. If so, we don't want to bring the knees closer to bring the feet above the hips. We want the knees to stay above the hips, even if that means my feet are way out here. So we'll just be here for another 45 seconds or so. You can do this. Keep breathing. As tension works its way into your neck and shoulders, give yourself some extra breath. Try not to look to the side like I just did. It's not good for your neck in this pose. All right, we're about at the end of our time here. So take a nice long inhale. See if you can send your breath to your toes. And exhale, bring the legs back down. So this next part is not for the faint of heart. And I'm going to come out of this because I can't continue on my back for much longer because I've done this already today. And I'm only allowed so much time. So you're going to bring the knees above the hips once again. And the calves will be parallel to the earth. And you'll take an exhale here. And as you inhale, you'll drop one foot down, touch your toe to the earth, and exhale back up. Inhale the other foot down and back up. So you're just going to continue like this for about 1 minute. And if you can, remember which leg you started on because you want to end on the opposite leg. If not, it's not the end of the world. For all you perfectionists out there. Just 15 more seconds. 10, 5, and you're done. So bring both feet down to the earth. Hopefully you noticed some things and you can implement this the next time, or maybe you can pause the video and do another round of this for a minute. But you want to make sure that the neck and the shoulders, just like I mentioned at the beginning, when we were doing another supported bridge section, is to let the neck and the shoulders release. But sometimes when we start to implement the feet coming down and up, these try to do some of the work. So we want to let go of that tendency and let the breath support us and try to let the core warm up and help us do that work. So now we'll gently inhale the hips up off the block and slowly exhale down as you remove the block. Let the knees fall out wide into butterfly. Reach the arms up above and grab for opposite elbows. And we'll spend about 30 seconds or so here. All right, so inhale, lengthen the arms straight up above your head, and then exhale, bring them down by your sides. Bring the knees up to center. And we're coming into some really yummy, good stretches. So you might want to get your blocks out of the way. They won't be too terribly much in the way, but just so you're not worrying about it in a minute. All right, so we'll bring the right ankle to the left thigh, flexing that right foot. And one good thing here, if you are already feeling it really intensely in that right thigh, you can place a block underneath the foot and just gently press into this right thigh, but not at the knee, just at the thigh. If you have a little bit more flexibility today in the legs, especially from some of the warm-ups we've done, go ahead and pull that left leg towards you, and you'll just add some rocking motion when it feels right. We'll spend about 7 more breaths here. All right, so gently make your way back to the center. Bring that left foot down to the earth. You can kick that over. And go ahead and cross that right leg all the way over the left. Scoot your hips to the right and let your knees fall to the left. Bring the arms out wide into airplane wings or cactus. Either one is fine. And both shoulders, the goal is that both shoulders are on the earth. If this is not possible, what you can do is scoot your shoulders closer to the knee, closer to the direction the knees are pointed. That'll help give you a little leverage to scoot the left shoulder closer to the earth. Not that I think anyone is in particular noticing, but if you noticed I've got some weird discoloration on my arms, I just noticed it's kind of really showing here. I had to do some several blood draws this week for my doctor's appointment for the baby, and they had to do different places. So I'm bruised because I bruise really easily when they do that to me. So I just want to point that out because it looks odd in the camera. So take a nice big inhale and exhale yourself back to the center. Scoot your hips back in line with one another. And go ahead and unravel the legs. Bring the left ankle to the right thigh. And this leg might be completely different. It may be more open or it may be less open. So give yourself whatever it is you need to make that process work. Remembering that you can put a block underneath the right foot here. You might fall to one side, that's okay. And then make your way back to the center. Bring the right foot down, cross the left knee all the way over, scoot the hips to the left, and then let the knees fall to the right. Of course, getting your hands out of the way in airplane or cactus. Take a nice long inhale, and as you exhale, come back to the center. Unravel the legs, realign the hips, and then take a nice big good morning stretch. And as you exhale, pull the knees into the chest, give yourself a squeeze, rocking side to side. And this is a great time to move into happy baby pose. And let this be playful, let this be full of motion. And then when you're ready, just make your way back to center with the knees, hugging the knees back in, and roll to the side. And press yourself up to a seat. We'll move into just a few restorative poses tonight. The first one, we're actually going to use 2 blankets and a bolster. This is one of my favorites. And you're going to roll the blankets. So you want them to be pretty long. Can you show them before you start doing it? Just show them how long. Yeah. So pretty long. And then roll it up. It'll probably be about 1.5 to 2 inches thick once it's rolled up. This is going to go under your heart, under your rib cage. You'll kind of figure out what you need in terms of that as you get there. But you'll have another blanket either just folded or rolled up. It doesn't have to be very thick. So you can decide that once you get laid down. But you'll place this under your head. You know where you're going. Okay. This is a babbling brook or mountain brook. And then grab your bolster. Don't forget your bolster. You'll have a bolster under your knees. So you'll lay back on the long roll. And your shoulders will fall in between the 2 separate blankets. And then your head will be on one. So you'll have a lift under the heart. And you'll just feel like you're rippling over all these props. If the thoughts start to move in because we've slowed down the movement of the body, Remind yourself that is normal. That's the job of my mind, to begin to move when the body settles. So we don't have to chase the thoughts away. We don't have to entertain them either. We can just allow and notice. I allow the breath. I notice the thoughts. I gently favor the breath. I notice I'm in thoughts again. I favor the breath. And it's completely normal for that to go on and on several times, noticing, coming back to the breath. Take a long breath in and a deep breath out. And as your body and your breath let you know that they're ready for movement, just gently roll onto your left side. All the props except the bolster right where they are. You can just bring the legs off the bolster, or you can kick the bolster out of the way. With the right arm, let's see, you're on your left side. So the left arm is just reaching out long with the palm face up. The right arm, you'll take a nice big inhale, reach it up towards the sky, and exhale it over that ear and long towards the earth. So you'll feel a nice big opening down the right side body. If your hand doesn't reach, you can grab a block and place it under, because we do want the hand to just rest and breathe into that right lung. Take one more breath here. And then make your way onto your back and over to the other side. So the right arm is extended out long. Inhale the left arm up towards the sky. You skipped a step up towards the sky. Do you know where the sky is? And then exhale towards the earth with that hand. So nice big exhale as you move towards the earth. I promise we're not mean, we're just silly.
I forgot to do
That's okay. Noticed. Just a few more breaths here. All right, so inhale that arm back up towards the sky, exhale it down by your side, and then make your way onto your back. Okay, so roll to whichever side was more comfortable so that you can get that blanket out from under you, just the one under your rib cage for now, and lay flat on your back just for a few breaths, with or without bolster. Just feeling that nice big expanse behind and under and around the rib cage, the lungs, feeling that big hug from the earth. And then roll to one side and press yourself up to a seat. Get your bolster long ways where your torso was. Put a block or something underneath the end where your head will be, which is the part furthest from you. Put that underneath, and you can stack this up pretty tall. You can do two if you want. If you do the tallest height, you need two blocks though. So you need one at the tallest height, one medium height, to give you some extra support. And he's kind of doing it the most difficult way possible because he's like laying on it.
Yes.
So that's okay. You do it however you want to. All right, so you're gonna turn around with your back facing the bolster. And this next part is fun. You can use a blanket, a strap, or two blocks, however you want to do this. So if you're using a strap, will you show them? So the blocks are easy. You put the blocks underneath the legs, either at the knees or at the thighs. For a strap, you're going to make a big loop. So make your loop first. And if you're using something else, you'll just tie some sort of a simple knot. But you're just going to make yourself a loop and loop it around you. Nope, start around you. And then it's going to be at your sacrum. And then you'll pull the front of it around your toes. So I made his a little tight, so you'll just have to loosen it a little bit. And it's going to be around the sides of your feet. So over the top and under to the bottom sides of your feet. There you go. And then he's going to lay back onto the bolster. And he's going to pay attention to how tight this strap is. If you're using a blanket, you can do something similar and use that roll that you had from earlier. We're going to pretend he doesn't have a strap there. And you'd place the blanket over the feet and then under the thighs, under the calves, and then he would just pull this blanket in and towards him to tighten it to create some support. So he could actually do both. It's not necessary, but you can. So we're just going to leave it so his toesies stay warm. And then if you want a blanket over top of you, this is a good time for that too. Take a nice long inhale and a nice long exhale. As your awareness comes back to the room, decide whether you'd like to stay here the rest of the time, or if you'd like to move into a more traditional Shavasana, laying flat on the mat with your legs out long or your knees supported by a bolster. If you need a little more grounding, you can place a blanket across the pelvic region. And this gives you a little bit more grounded feeling for your Shavasana. start to come back to the room. Notice your breath. Notice how shallow and easeful it has become, and then allow your breath to deepen. And when you're ready, roll to one side, allowing for any last stretches, and press yourself up to a seat. And we'll meet with a nice easy seat with the legs crossed and the eyes closed and the palms together at the heart. Gently bowing the head. Think back to that gratitude list you made at the beginning. And we'll take in 3 breaths of gratitude. Inhaling gratitude. Exhaling anything that no longer serves us. Namaste. Thank you for being here if you watched live. Thank you for being here if you're watching the replay. And we would appreciate if you guys give us a thumbs up or a comment. And you can follow us on Instagram at Yoga with Caryn, or on Facebook. There's a Yoga with Caryn page there as well. Please make sure you subscribe to this channel. It helps other people like you who need a class like this find us a little more easily when they need to. Give us a thumbs up, that helps as well, and share this with your friends. We hope to see you again Tuesday or Thursday of next week at 7:15 to 8:15 Eastern Time, or we'll catch you on the replay. Thank you, Steve. Yes, please bring your favorite music to class, singing bowls or anything like that. Y'all have a great rest of your day.